All right, we are recording. Happy first Monday in June, everyone. Thank you so much for showing up. I see a lot of people are jumping on, so if you catch the recording, I'm going to do a few announcements really quick. Remember that June, our special is $20 off all of the challenge packs that are $150 and up. I went live today on a few tips on how to just leverage that this month. It is huge. Remember, if they get a year of Beachbody on demand, it's only $41 for Shakeology, which is like less than $1.50 a shake, which is ridiculous. So make sure that you are going back to every single person who had any kind of money objection, and just remind them of that. And this is we just launched our first day of our June mentorship. And so there are about 12 of you in it right now, and we're super excited about that. We have Dani with us today, and she is a 3-star diamond coach in her first CBC, 1-star diamond in her second CBC. She is a 2019 premier coach, and she has 34 months in Success Club. She also has the cutest little girl ever, and so I'm going to hand it over to her in just a second. Kim had a quick announcement about a special event tomorrow. Kim?
Oh, is that me? Sorry, you cut out. All right, so I just wanted to, before we get started on this awesome call, just remind y'all that we don't normally have 2 team calls like in the same week, but we do this week. So tomorrow is going to be Pat, I always say his last name wrong, Pat Railman. He is, I'll go over his stats tomorrow, but he is 4-time elite. He's a Million Club member, and he's just a really awesome guy. So try to make some time to be on that call as well tomorrow. That starts at 6 p.m. Central Time. So for you guys that are in Pacific, that's going to be 4 p.m. And then obviously Eastern is 7 and Mountain is 5. So 6 p.m. Central Time tomorrow night, and we're going to talk to Pat, and he's going to just go over some awesome things. So that's all I got.
You're amazing with time zones. I literally am like, I know what time it is at my house, what time it is at your house. Like, I'm awful with it. But Dani, we're going to try. She has a team call at 7, so we're going to get through hers and see if we can get some question and answer and everything. So there you go.
Awesome. Hi, guys. So thank you so much for having me. Again, my name is Dani Dettra, and I live in Portland, Oregon. I have been a Beachbody coach since February 2015. My start was kind of funny. My best friend was doing a challenge group, and she lost 21 pounds she lost 9 pounds in 21 days, and I was super jealous, and I was like, no fucking way you're gonna look better than me, so whatever you're doing, I gotta get in this group. And turns out it was a Beachbody 21-day fix. You had to have Shakeology and all that stuff. Well, a little backstory, I was a bar manager for about 9 years, and so even on the nights I didn't work, I couldn't sleep at a normal time because I was used to being up till 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning. So when my husband would fall asleep, I would watch TV. And what plays late at night? Beachbody infomercials. So I actually owned a ton of Beachbody programs: Insanity, Asylum, PiYo, 21-day fix, T25. Like, I had all of them. I had never done any of them, but I had them all just sitting there. And so when they're like, oh yeah, you have to have 21-day fix, I was like, oh yeah, I got it. I literally picked it up off my shelf and like had to go like this because it had like a layer of dust sitting on it. And that's one, because it had been sitting there so long, and 2, just because I don't clean, because I mean, who has time for that? But so it was like so embarrassing. So I was like, okay, I can do that. And the girl who was running the group, who became my coach, she was like, you have to get Shakeology. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. She's like, okay, you're in the group. And I'm like, okay. So I joined this group, and I, at this point, had been married for about 1.5 years, and I had gained 10 pounds since my wedding. So prior to that, I was a collegiate and competitive cheerleader, and I never really had to do anything outside of cheer to stay in shape for cheer. And so when I stopped cheering, when I got married, I gained 10 pounds within 6 months. And turns out, when you keep eating like shit, but you don't move, you just gain a bunch of weight. It's really weird. So I had this 10 pounds on me and I was the most uncomfortable, like physically, mentally, emotionally I'd ever been in my entire life. And I was a newlywed. I was supposed to be like the happiest I'd ever been. And I was just miserable on the inside and my clothes were starting to get way too tight. And I like live for fashion. I love clothes. And so I was really down on myself. And so when my best friend had lost those 9 pounds, I was like, that's exactly what I need. So I'm going to do this group. Mind you, I hadn't worked out in almost 2 years. Like I was the girl who couldn't stick to a diet for more than like an hour. Not even kidding. Like my willpower is so low. Like I'd be like, I gotta eat something, like go insane type of thing. And so I'm like, I'm going to do this. And so I signed up for the group. And by signed up, I mean, I just joined because I had already purchased 21 Day Fix from someone else. And so I did the group and I showed up every single day. I did my 30-minute workouts and I checked in every single day. And what I loved about the group, it was women of all shapes and sizes doing the group, but I'm super competitive. So I was like seeing all these women who were much bigger than me checking in. And I was like, no way, I'm not going to be the only girl not checking in. Like I'm not a loser, so I got to check in. So I did the workouts every single day. And at the end, 21 days, I had no result. Zero, none. My pictures, like not even like maybe it's nothing. I hadn't even lost an ounce because I ate like I was a garbage disposal. And I was like, thought that if I could work out, then I would just magically lose this weight, but I could eat however I wanted. No. Okay. But what I did have was a sense of accomplishment. I hadn't been able to stick to something in almost 2 years besides cheerleading. And this was the first time in a long time I actually felt good about myself. Even though I did not have any results, I felt proud to be me. And I hadn't felt that in such a long time that I kept going. So I joined the next group and I joined the next group and I joined the next group. Doing 21 Day Fix. Literally, we do 21 Day Fix. We'd take a week off. The next group would start. We do it all over again. Again, I showed up every day. I didn't miss workouts. I did the extra plank challenges in the group. I did all the fun check-ins, the water challenges. I did it all. But I did not change my diet in any way. And I would have a hot chocolate, a chai tea, those yummy little vanilla scones that have to go with your hot chocolate. I would eat chicken strips at midnight because I was a bartender. And so I had no results. But what was happening was people could see that I was happy. And I hadn't felt like that in a long time. And so it was shining through. And people were asking me what I was doing. And I was telling them about it. And I was literally sending every single one of those people, my friends, whatever, all to my coach. And I sent her 7 people. And so she had asked me every month, do you want to be a coach? Do you want to be a coach? Do you want to be a coach? And I had all the excuses. Don't have time, don't want to be that girl, don't want to sell stuff on the internet, like, no thanks, like, I'm doing fine. Because I made a lot of money as a bartender. I didn't need the money. I was a college graduate. I was going to find a new job. Like, it was not what I was looking for in any way, shape, or form. And so I just said no. And then on month 5, I was like, well, I've been doing this 5 months. I have no results. And what do you know? 21 Day Fix Extreme was coming out. And I was like, well, I'm 30, so I guess I have to do something extreme if I want to get these results and get this 10 pounds off. So I ordered the challenge pack, finally paid my way into a group 5 months later, ordered the challenge pack, and I did every single day. And I don't know why, guys. I still to this day, I don't know why. But at this time, I was a complete ghost on social media, no following, like nothing. I wouldn't even like people's stuff. I was such a fucking freak. Like, I don't even know what was wrong with me. And I was like, I'm going to post my workouts over on Instagram. Like, and when I say I have no following, I had to like my own photos to get it to change from names to numbers. Like, I'm telling you, I had nobody, okay? Nobody was watching what I was doing. And I was like a collegiate cheerleader. Like, I was doing really cool stuff, but I was not posting about it. I was just so weird. And so I started posting my workouts over on Instagram, and I just shared my entire 21 Day Fix Extreme journey over there. I just talked about what I did for the day, how I felt, would take a selfie, take a picture of my shake or my food, or, you know, after my workout with the resistance band, whatever it was. And people started messaging me and asking me if I was a coach. And I'm like, nope. And they're like, you're really inspiring. And I'm like, what are these words you're saying? I don't get it. And I didn't know any coaches. So I had no idea like what it meant to be a Beachbody coach besides the experience that I had had in my group, which I loved. Okay. So I didn't follow any coaches. Like, I wasn't even Facebook friends with the woman who was running the group I was in. Okay. I didn't know this person. I just was in there because my best friend was in there. So finally, month 5, I was like, you know what? I've given you all these people. I could have been making that money because I love money, because I love stuff. The more money you have, the more stuff you can buy. So I was like, all right, I'll do this. If I'm going to make an extra $100, $200 a month, I'll do it. It's really fun. I like the group and people seem to join pretty easily. So sure, I'll do it. And then I freaked out. I didn't do anything for 2 weeks. Signed up, freaked out, like went off the grid, like, oh my God, what have I done? I'm that girl. I'm selling shit on the internet. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Like, I'm a loser. I was like telling myself all this stuff, right? And then I'm randomly in Hawaii with my husband, like 2 weeks into that month. And an upline coach posts about a push to Emerald. And it was a $10 buy-in. Anyone who went Emerald by the end of the month got to split the pot. What have we learned so far? Danny loves money. I was like, shit, I'll do anything for a free t-shirt. I'm going to win this money. Like, no way am I not going to win. So I put my $10 in, like literally by the pool, making my list, and I spammed everyone I had ever freaking met. Even if I hadn't talked to them in 10 years, I invited them to my challenge group. I don't recommend that, but that got me moving. I made my very first post. It was horrible. The worst post you could ever possibly make. That was my post. It was me by the pool. I put my chocolate Shakeology by my face, and all I said was healthiest meal of the day. Like, what in the actual fuck? Like, that does not make any sense. It so does not make any sense. Like, I didn't tell them what was in it was so embarrassing, okay? But it got me moving, right? I made my first post. I came out of hiding. Like, I didn't do it coming out as a coach post. Like, that was my post, right? But it got me moving. And by the end of the month, I'd hit Success Club 12, and I'd become an Emerald coach. And I made $394 in my first month as a coach. And I was like, whoa. So I was a bartender at this time, so I would make that a night. So that wasn't a lot of money for me, but I was like, this could be my ticket out of the bar, because I knew I was meant for more than being in a bar every single night when my husband was home. And so I wanted a way to leverage my way out of the bar so I could go find a job that I actually loved, doing something that I felt was not beneath me, honestly. And so I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go full force with it. And I just freaking dove in and was like, all right, I got to get to Diamond. So I got to Diamond in 4 months, and I would hit Success Club out of the park, 20, 30, 40, 50, you name it. I didn't miss it. And I just kept building, went Diamond. I just kept building and kept going, hitting Success Club, doing exactly what everyone told me to do. And then 11 months into my journey, I got a 2-minute phone call from my job of 7 years saying, you no longer work here. You're too negative. See you later. I had no backup plan, no income coming in, because as a bartender, you work off tips. So your last day is your last paycheck. And I was terrified. And of course, I was at my husband's company party. So this was like the worst time for them ever to call me. And so I'm freaking out, like sobbing my head off. My husband's like, it's okay. Like, we got it. Whatever you're stressed about, we got it. And I'm like, you don't understand. And he's like, what don't I understand? And I had to tell my husband in that moment that I had $61,000 in debt that he knew nothing about. So again, worst moment of my life. I couldn't even say it. I had to write it on a piece of paper and slide it over to him like I was the Godfather. Like, it was unbelievable. And he's like, whatever you're stressed about, we got it. And he's like, what makes you the happiest? And I said, Beachbody. And he's like, then let's go for it. So with the support of my husband, I've been home full time now for 3 years with Beachbody. At the end of 2016, we got pregnant with our daughter, Chloe. She's now almost 2. Because of Beachbody and this opportunity, I'm able to be home with her every single day. Every single freaking penny of that $61,000 is gone. Don't owe anything to anyone. And I never had to worry about whether or not I would have to go back to work. Once Chloe came, I've never had to miss a moment, never had to get a text saying your baby took her first steps, your baby said her first words. And Beachbody has just truly not only changed my life, it really saved my life. Because I was on a fast track to nowhere at the bar, and I knew that I was meant for more, and I just needed an opportunity to do that, and that's what Beachbody has given me. I don't know if you want to do like a question and answer thing, Or so that's my story. I have a lot of stuff I could talk about, but if you have any questions, I would love to answer those. All right. So daily schedule. So when I signed up as a coach, the woman who signed me up, she wasn't really working the business. Like I went diamond and she was still an emerald coach. And then she didn't talk to me for 2 years, and then she quit last year. On the first day of summit, my now upline sent me a screenshot of her coach cancellation. So the only thing she ever told me to do was to do our uplines training. And in the training, it said that you had to invite 3 people a day, add 3 people to your network, start 3 new conversations every single day. And those were the things that were super important. And that's what I did every single day when I was first starting out, because that's what they told me to do. So that's what I did. So I treated this like a job from the very beginning, because if you want it to pay you like a job, you have to treat it like a job. So when people are like, I've just, I haven't had time to get to it. Like, if you don't make the time, you'll never have the time. So for me, I wake up, I do my energize, which I put on my story. I do my workout, and then I put that on my story. So which is 3 to 5 clips. And I think adding music and adding font is a great way to keep people engaged and really kind of like jazz it up. So they're not just watching 15 seconds of you doing squats like to dead silence. Like, okay, like, what are we doing here? Let's entertain the people that are there watching. So a great app to do that with is Hype Type. It is a paid app, but it has a lot of music options and has like 20 or 30 different font options. You can speed up or slow down your videos, which I don't know that any of you follow me, but if you do, in the mornings, I do a time lapse of me doing my energize. And so I do that through time lapse on my iPhone, and then I put it in Hype Type and I slow it all the way down because time lapse is really fast. And I get that question almost every single day from other coaches. How do you do this? So that's how I do it. But just making my stories entertaining so that people want to continue to come and show. And what I like to do in my stories is just like share my thought for the day. So whether it's something the trainer said or some objection that someone gave me or a really cool quote that I saw, or something that someone mentioned in a post and something I just want to talk about. And so I'll do my 3 to 5 clips. It'll just depend. I'm in the morning meltdown test group right now. So for the last 2 months, I was only able to post 1 clip a day, which was terrible. But now I can post 3. So I can post my 3 clips for the day with music and my thought for the day. And then after my workout every single day, this is when I do my invite and my stories. And I don't do it with just a screen that says boot camp, take this poll. I always do it through talking to my audience. So your audience is watching you. They're more likely to sit and listen because they want to hear from you. And, isn't it so weird when you hear someone talk on their stories for the first time and you're like, whoa, I didn't expect their voice to sound like that, or you know what I mean? But if they never hear your voice, they're not going to get to know you. Even if they follow your stories and you're on there every single day, if you're never talking, there's a reason why. And for me, I think it's because you lack confidence. Why aren't you showing your face? Why aren't you talking? And that's not somebody that I want to follow. And that's just a personal preference, but I'm sure a lot of other people feel that same way. If they're following you, they're interested in you in some way. So let them get to know you by talking to them. It makes them more intimate. They'll trust you faster, which means they'll join you faster. Because a lot of people have to watch for a certain amount of time, and we want to cut down that time that they are watching you and get them to join you quicker. So the quickest way for them to get to know you is by talking in your stories, and not just like filming something. Like, show your face, talk to them. And so I always, again, reiterate like my thought for the day. Like if I'm dying because it's cardio, like that's apparently a fan favorite. When I'm like out of breath and like, like they love it. I don't know why. So I share that, like how I was dying. They love seeing my daughter in the workout videos, which is great for if you're a mom and you don't have all the excuses of, oh, I have kids, I can't work out. I talk about that a lot, because that pisses me off to no end. So I talk about that a lot, that you can make it. Look at Chloe's right here. We're doing the workouts together. She tries to do the moves with me. It's like adorable. And then I do my invite. And I say, while I have you, I want to let you know that I have a new boot camp and it's now open for registration. We're doing Fit for the Fourth, starting on June 17th. We're going to be focusing on workouts, nutrition, and of course, self-love. If you would like more information, go ahead and click this poll and I'll send you information on that. So I always give them a call to action and then exactly what they're supposed to do. Because even to this day, 4 years later, people are like, yeah, I didn't know how to get info. I'm like, even though every single fucking day I said, click this poll and you don't know how to get info, it's just so confusing. I know. It's so confusing. So I make sure that they know exactly how to get info. I point to the poll. I never put the poll down. I see so many coaches like scrunching the poll so it's so small. You know, people can't click it when you do that. Just leave it big. Leave it big right there on the screen. And so then 24 hours later, sorry, 23, because now the lists expire. 23 hours later, so the following day, I'll go back, and anyone who watched that story, doesn't matter if they took the poll, anyone who watched that story gets an invite from me. And my invites are so simple. Hey girl, wasn't sure if you saw I have a new boot camp starting on June 17th. Would it be okay to send you info? I never asked if they're interested. Even if they click my poll, I don't use the word interested because interested kind of commits them and they're going to ghost you because they don't want to be committed to anything. So I always let them know, hey, clicking this poll is no obligation. It's just for you getting info. If it's for you, cool. Let's get you signed up. If it's not, no worries. But then when I'm sending out messages, the amount of people that respond with sure, because they do want the info, but they just always are like giving themselves reasons like, oh, I can't afford it. It takes too much time. People are like, I don't live in the same state as you. I'm like, it's the internet. You don't have to be in the same state as me. It's weird. So people are always making up reasons why they can't join, but they don't even know what it is, right? So I'm always saying, would it be okay to send you info? And then when they say yes, the first question I always ask, always, are you familiar with Beachbody programs and Shakeology? Every time. Clockwork. And if you guys don't know, you can put automatic responses into your Instagram replies. It's a lifesaver because you're going to say the same thing over and over and over and over again. So are you familiar with Beachbody programs and Shakeology? It's alarming the amount of people that say no. And then I have little blurbs about Beachbody On Demand and a little blurb about Shakeology that I just click my auto replies and I send those to them so that they know exactly what they're getting into. So I think besides inviting, the biggest thing that coaches struggle with is how to give info out without it being overwhelming and word vomiting so that people don't ghost you. And I live under the mantra of keep it simple, stupid. KISS. Okay? Keep it simple, stupid. All right. So don't overwhelm them with information. They didn't ask you where every ingredient from Shakeology came from. They didn't ask you how many fucking programs we have. They just said, can I have info on the boot camp? And then you tell them, and if you sign up as a coach, you get a discount. And they're like, what in the actual, literally, what? Like you just overwhelmed them so bad. Like I feel bad for them because you fucking vomited all over them. It's just terrible. Okay. So keep it simple, short and sweet. Don't answer questions that nobody asked. Tell all my coaches that. Don't answer questions that nobody asked. And it's the biggest mistake I see coaches making. I'm like, you haven't even got a yes and you invited them to your team? Like, damn, bro. Like, okay, how about we get a yes first? How about we get a package picked out? Then we can invite them to the team. Like, let's get a yes first. Like, they just want to know about boot camp and you're already signing them up to start a business. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot to take in. Okay? So don't answer questions that people didn't ask. So if they didn't ask you about coaching, don't say a fucking thing about coaching. All right? So get a yes first, then you can talk about coaching. So that's what I tell my coaches. So keep it simple. Are you familiar with Beachbody programs, Shakeology? Yes, no. Yeah, I'm actually in the Live 4 test group. Why are you taking my poll? Like, what's happening here? People are crazy. Like, they don't get it. They're like, yeah, I just signed up as a coach. And I'm like, okay, well, go ahead and reach out to your upline. I'll talk to you never. Bye-bye. So it's crazy. But you need to know where they're coming from so you know what info to give. Because if they're like, yeah, I tried 21 Day Fix a few years ago. I think I still have the DVDs lying around. You got to be like, girl, we have upgraded. It's 2019. We got the internet. Okay? We got all this stuff for you. But you need to figure out where they're at. Or if they're like, yeah, I use my mom's bot account. You're like, Jesus Christ, you got to get your own, sister, all right? Let's get you plugged in. Let's get off mom's account. Whatever it is. But you need to find out where they're at. So I strive to send at least 10 invites a day. That's very, very, very low. I do more about 20 to 30 is what I do. So I have about anywhere from 500 to 700 people who watch my stories. And that is where I do the majority of my inviting from. Once I'm done with my invites, I try to engage as much as possible with my followers. And that's what I have found to help me have the most success is because if I'm not talking to people, then I will run out of people to invite. And I think that's a struggle that a lot of coaches have is they want everyone liking and commenting and replying to their stories, but they don't spend any time during their day doing that same thing. And I know it's like, well, if I don't invite, then no one's going to join. But if you don't talk to anyone, you don't have anyone left to invite. You know what I mean? Because if you're not upping your engagement and your stories, you will run out of people to talk to. There's no shortage of people, but you specifically will run out of people if you don't talk to new people every single day. So I sit down and I literally make tally marks and I try to respond to 50 stories a day. So I will sit there on my thing. I'll click the first story, whatever I think. Oh my gosh, your dog's so cute. Swipe through. Girl, that drink looks bomb. What is it? Boom. Like whatever I think, I say it. And for me, that's engaging. Like I don't try to ask a question. I almost never ask a question unless I genuinely have a question. But I don't try to force questions. You know, it used to always be like, always end with a question. I'm like, I don't have any. Like, I don't care. So, you know what I mean? Or I'll be like, you look beautiful. Swipe through. Oh my gosh, your baby's adorable. Happy birthday. Boom. Oh my gosh, girl, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. You know what I mean? Because Instagram, whatever you think, I just put it in the story. Like if I think, dang, she looks so pretty. Like there's this girl, she sells oils on she's on my feed. And I like oils, so I follow her because I like the recipes and stuff she shares. But she almost never, ever is on camera. Almost never. But she's gorgeous. So anytime she comes on, I'm like, I know I say this every time, which is only one other time because you're never on, but you're so beautiful. And like, I genuinely think that. So why wouldn't I tell her that? Like, why wouldn't I take the chance to make her day? Right? But people are on stories on social media because they want attention. So give them what they want, which is attention. And don't worry about whether they respond to you, whether they follow you back, whether they like your comment, whether they fucking like your message. Oh my God, so fucking rude. Don't worry about any of that. You just keep moving until you have your 50 for the day. And then you're like, shit, like I am like an engaging boss on Instagram. Like look at all those people I'm talking to. Like doesn't really matter if any of those end up in invites because I promise they eventually will. But people need to see that you are not a freak and you're not trying to sell them shit. Okay? They need to see that you're nice and then they're going to go check you out. And I can't tell you how many people that I've responded to 3 or 4 stories. They never say anything back or I'll comment, 3 or 4 times and then all of a sudden they start following me. Okay? Some people will follow you like that. You follow them, boom, instantly they follow you right back. But other people need to see that you're not just trying to sell them something. You're not a weirdo. You're not going to scam them the second they say, accept your follow request. You know what I mean? And the best way, I think, to engage is through stories. Like, I remember when I first started trying to figure out how to start conversations with people that it wasn't their birthdays was like the worst, okay? Because there was no stories. So you had to go to their page, try to find something that they posted about that you could actually talk about. Like, oh my gosh, your wedding photos are beautiful. They're like, oh yeah, it was the best day of my life 10 years ago. And you're like, well, you haven't posted since then. So that's what I had to bring up. But now with stories, they have content for you already. It's like the social media gods shined down on us and said, hey, here's to make your business easier, preloaded content for you to comment on and engage with people. So if you want people to like, comment, and engage on your stories, you need to go do that. Like if somebody puts up a poll, are you taking it or are you just swiping by? So then don't get mad when people don't take your poll. Are you putting up a question box and no one's doing it, but you're not responding to anyone's questions box? You have to give what you want. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. Like you can't just expect your content to be so good, even if you have the best preset, the best poses, and the best captions, that people are just going to run to you and sign up every time you say you have a registration open. You have to go genuinely engage with people. And obviously, the end result is to hopefully have a relationship with them as a customer or a coach. But you'll find that it's so much more fun and less of a chore when you're actually engaging and talking to people and having a good time. And then asking questions on your stories. Like this last couple weeks, I've been asking like weird hygiene questions. Like I have these little flossers and I never floss. That's why I always have cavities. But so I started flossing. I'm like, how many of these floss sticks are you supposed to use? I used like 9. And they're like, you're only supposed to use 1. And I'm like, for your whole mouth? And then I asked about makeup, like, am I supposed to use the makeup wipe first or the makeup wipe after I wash my face? And like 17 people messaged me, 17 to tell me to use the makeup wipe. Okay, like people love to fucking give their opinion, so give something their opinion about, right? I asked if people are watching Dead to Me. I never watched Netflix, but my husband is like wanting to watch Netflix all of a sudden, so we started watching Dead to Me. And like 96% of my followers are watching Dead to Me. Apparently we have a lot in common, right? So that's good. Like you find out stuff about your audience, but I wouldn't know those things if I wasn't genuinely engaging with them. Okay, so making engagement a part of your day. And if you can't do 50, can you do 10? 10's a great place to start. Can you do 50 for the whole week? So 50 for the whole week should be your minimum. But once you get that down, and I don't count like, I have to be a brand new person. I just count 50 for the day. So I go through the line of stories. I do my little tally marks, and then I'm like, cool, I'm good. And then I go through and I try to comment on as many as I can as well. So I don't try to do 50 comments. I just try, if I'm on social media, I have to be commenting. Otherwise, I am not working. I'm just wasting time. But I definitely do the 50 story replies for sure. And then I also heard, and I don't know if this is true, but for an hour up to an hour after your post is when you should be doing all your engagement because it gets your stuff back in the feed. Again, if you don't have an hour, do you have 10 minutes? You put up your post and you go do all your stuff 10 minutes after. So don't worry about like the exact time or the exact numbers that I'm doing. What works for your schedule and for the time you have allotted to work your business. But I would say 10 would be the minimum for anything. And then, so after I've done my invites and I've done my engagements, then I count invites and follow-ups in the same time. So to me, they're not separate. And so then it's really just about sharing on my story and then talking with any of my coaches or doing any kind of graphics. I am like obsessed with recognizing people for everything in my page. So I do spend a lot of time making graphics for everything. But I just like, that's something I actually enjoy doing. It's not a chore to me. Like I just love recognizing people. So we do that. And I obsessively check my back office to see if we have new coaches or how my volume's doing because I care about that. But that's kind of what my day looks like. So I grew my Instagram to 3,300 on my own. And then I hired 21 Social on Thanksgiving. And then I canceled them in April, but they grew from November to April up. Now I have 10.4 thousand followers. So I thought like my business would explode if I had the swipe up feature. Doesn't seem to be the case. But so I do appreciate the growth that they gave me in followers, but I don't feel like the followers they got me were of very high quality, which is why I ended up canceling them. I have heard from others that Jumper Media does better quality, but I've heard Instagram is really, really cracking down and shutting down people's accounts. So I didn't want that to happen. So I did end up canceling them. So now I just literally do the old school way like I used to. I go to bloggers or accounts of girls that I want that are in my niche market. I am a competitive collegiate cheerleader, so I kind of target cheerleaders. That's like my thing. So if I find like a professional dance team, like I follow a bunch of Laker dancers and a bunch of Blazer dancers. So like those are the women that I'm actively pursuing. I'll just go and I follow all of their friends. Like somehow I got into some kind of vortex of like Tennessee sorority girls. So I just followed a bunch of them. Freaking beautiful. So I got to get working on them. But so it just depends on who you're looking for. But big accounts that you follow, like bloggers, like Kaylee Wright, she's one of my favorite bloggers. She has over 200,000 followers. And then Chanel and Champagne, she has 600,000 followers. So if girls are following those accounts, those girls I want to follow because we like the same things, shopping, fashion, all that stuff. So I go and follow all of their followers that are in my niche market. Obviously, I don't follow anyone I don't want to follow, which is cool about Instagram. And then products that I like. So, the shampoo that I use, or like kombucha, or any kind of products that my baby used. Like I used to go to Disney Baby all the time when I first had Chloe, and I would just go and follow all those moms. Or like the moccasins that she wears freshly picked, I would go there, and I would follow all those moms. And so it's really, really easy to find people on Instagram. People are always like, where are you finding these people? I'm like, they're not under rocks. They're literally right in front of you. You just have to click follow. And then sometimes you go down a rabbit hole. Like somehow I found all those Tennessee sorority girls, which I'm really excited about. But so, you know what I mean? They're out there. You just have to take a second to find them. But I don't do anything with hashtags because I don't search hashtags. So I don't feel like people in my tribe would be searching hashtags. So I just kind of do big accounts, bloggers that I like, and products that I like. What else? I'm an open book, so let me know. What do you need from me? How can I help you?
So sorry, Melissa. You good? Me? Okay. I'll ask another question. So since you had mentioned the whole thing about, just keeping a really simple invite, do you find that you mainly bring on challengers first, or do you and then present the coaching opportunity after they have gotten results? Like for me personally, I pretty much always bring on discount coaches. I don't bring on builders. That's not how I started. And so I'm just wondering if since you're so simple, do you find that you do, like, how do you do that when,
So I invite every day in my stories and I change it every day. So like today I invited for the boot camp. So tomorrow I'll be inviting to my coach mentorship for June. And I switch back and forth every other day. Like I don't miss a day. If there's one superpower I have, it's consistency, and I don't miss. So I bring on about 5 to 10 coaches every single month, and I bring on coaches who want to work the business. Now, that doesn't mean they do, but that's what they tell me. So I don't really bring on discount coaches. And I will only invite someone to be a discount coach if they're like, oh, I'm obsessed with Shakeology. I love it. And I'll be like, you can get a 25% discount. I don't like hound them because I'd honestly rather have their commission than the 90 PV. But I'd rather have builders. The only time I'll really try to sign discount coaches is if I need like extra actives for qual or something like that. But I don't like actively like hound people. Like, you've been ordering for 3 months, you got to sign up for that. Like, I don't do that. Like, I don't really want a bunch of discount coaches. Not to say I don't discount them because at any time they could turn into a builder. But I'd rather just them be a customer. If they want to be a customer and pay commission, like, that's cool. So I have people that I bring on as coaches, but I don't send, I think is kind of your question, I don't really send coach invites. I just never stop talking about coaching. So if you guys want to watch my stories, you can. I never stop talking about coaching. Like, I'm always talking about coaching. I do coaching call to actions probably every other day, if not every day. I'm out of control. But I just love coaching, and that's the opportunity. And that's the opportunity that changed my life. Like, fitness is the vehicle that brought me here, but coaching is what kept me here. And so I know that the team is the opportunity. So I invite to the team. I run sneak peeks over on Facebook. I do YouTube videos and IG videos and stuff like that, and I never stop talking about coaching, and all roads lead to coaching. So everything I'm talking about always comes back to coaching. Coaching is the opportunity. So I never stop talking about it. I'm always showing this. I'm always showing when I'm working. Anytime I get anything from Beachbody, anytime I'm sending my coaches stuff, I shout out my coaches every single Thursday. Any coaches who brought on a coach, they get shouted out in my stories. So like, there should be no confusion on what I do. So coaching is the opportunity, and I'm always talking about that. But yeah, so I don't have a ton of people. Like, I sign up a lot of customers and then 5 to 10 coaches a month. But I just try to go really deep with the coaches that actually do want it. And I feel like my coaches that do want it and actually, listen and are coachable are successful. So the ones that don't show up, I don't give them any of my time. They're in the challenge group, they're in the team page. Like, if they decide at any moment, like, hey, I'm ready to run, I'm ready. But I don't like chase people. Like, once I send the welcome email, if they don't like text me, because they're supposed to text me after they do the training so we can do our GSR. If they don't text me, I don't text them. Like, there's a girl from March, she still hasn't texted me for her GSR. So maybe she will one day. I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like, I have women who actually want my time, and so I spend my time with them. What else?
All right. Well, if you think of anything, let me know. I can message Danny. She does have her team call in about 10 minutes. So thank you so much for joining us. I have pages of notes and some really great ideas. So thank you so much.
Can we take a picture?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Ready? 1, 2. Adorable. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, I am open book. Like, I love sharing. That's my favorite part about coaching, is just sharing what's working for me. And so if you guys have any questions, and you can follow me on Instagram. If you add me on Facebook, I will not connect with you. I'm sorry. But Instagram, we can be friends over there. But Facebook, I have to reserve for other people. But if you want to connect on Instagram, I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. I hope you guys have an amazing night.